Hey everyone, my name is Rob Schout. Welcome to another edition of PowerSkills training. I hope this will be of service to you. The topic today is a stress management at work topic, but we're going to specify that the topic is going to be focused on resilience at work. I hope anything that we can offer you today will be of help. Let's look at resilience at work. My name is Rob Schout. My background is in organization management and policy, culture change at work, building human capital at work, and focusing on human behavior in the workplace. And in these times of change, my friends, where there is rapid change occurring structurally in our society and within our organizations, strategically, we have to respond. But most importantly, individuals have to be able to personally respond to change as it's going on. They have to be able to bounce back, be resilient, be flexible, be adaptive. And right now, with a lot of change that is occurring, that's very difficult for some people. So let's talk about why that is difficult. I want you to consider a sudden, unwanted, unexpected, tumultuous change, whether it's at work or in your life, in your family, or in society. Just get that picture in your mind. A sudden, unexpected, unwanted, tumultuous change. It's like an upheaval of your current reality. One day you were just fine, even though you had pressures in your daily life. And another day, the next day, everything has changed. And you don't know what to do. When we are faced with sudden, unwanted, unexpected, tumultuous change, either currently or on the horizon, we go into unknown zones. We work best as human beings, meaning in our personal life and at work or in school, when there are knowns, when we are in a steady state, meaning all the processes that we're used to are still occurring. All the things that we could typically rely on, the institutions, the structures, the way people act, are all steady for us. Then, when we're hit with individual or small changes or extra workloads or pressures, we can respond because everything else is equal, everything else is steady in our environment. But when we're hit with sudden, unwanted, unexpected, or tumultuous change in our relationships, in our life, at work, or in society, all of a sudden we are thrust into unknown zones. And we don't know how to cope at times. And once we get hit with those changes and we accept the reality of them, then we enter into different kinds of psychologies. And that's what I want to get at today. When our employees, when our team members, when our family members are hit with sudden changes that they have to respond to, they experience emotional, psychological, and behavioral shifts. Some of you already know this. Some of you have already experienced some of these things due to the horizontal changes or the current changes. You get mental anxieties that rise, sometimes panic attacks at night. Sometimes you experience depression, whether it's ongoing or just episodic depression. Sometimes you're experiencing just pure shock or grief and loss. Like I was so used to something and now I don't have that anymore. I don't have my coworkers that I've been used to working with. I don't have the resources. I don't have any assurance about my career or my future. I don't have. And when we experience dramatic or sudden lack or loss, we experience grief because of that. And we experience emotional shifts and turmoil within. So I want to say all that to you to say that that's typical. It's unfortunate, but it is typical. So as you consider a dramatic change or an upheaval at work or society or in life because of all those other changes, I want you to take a deep breath and settle in. and just say to yourself, what I'm experiencing is typical for chaos and for sudden shifts and changes. The feelings I'm experiencing, the reactions I'm experiencing are typical, but they don't have to sit with them. So specific actions and tailored support can address this disequilibrium. Disequilibrium is when we're thrown off of our steady state. We felt steady at our work, steady with all the ways we had to live our daily lives, steady with our finances. We had a steady state, and all of a sudden the ground shakes like an earthquake, and we're thrown off, and we're in disequilibrium. When that happens, we need to try to become resilient. And resilience is that bounce back factor, that adaptability that's within us. And sometimes when we're in disequilibrium, we don't feel that. We don't even know how to go back there. But here's some ways that you can do this for yourself and so that you can help your employees. 5 different things. 1, remind yourself and remind employees that they have personal agency. Personal agency is a willfulness and a mindset that I am in control of my destiny, at least part of it. I have some control because when we're thrown off, we feel out of control and we feel like there is nothing to hold on to. We sometimes feel that other people are making all the decisions, but we still have decisions that we can make. We can stay or leave a job. We can make adjustments in our income or our finances and how we manage our finances so that it will carry us over. We can ask for help. We can go down a new path. We can advocate for ourselves. There is a lot of things that we can do. We don't want to have to do all these things, but we can do them. So personal agency is our ability to discern our choices, make decisions for ourselves or our teams or our loved ones, and move into a transition period so that we have some empowerment as we go through the change or the chaos. Number 2, we assess our personal needs. So when we experience disequilibrium, this off balance, because of all the chaos or the change that is occurring, we have to be able to stop, breathe, and be objective in assessing our personal needs, our momentary needs, our immediate or short-term needs for the next week, for the next couple months. And so you have to ask yourself, do I need some additional support? Do I need to have some conversations and make some decisions with my family or my partner or my spouse or my friends? Do I need to be able to manage money differently now because this change may last for months or a year and it may have a ripple effect? So we always assess our personal needs. Grab a piece of paper or jot down on a Post-it note, what are my immediate needs? I need to build some capacity. I need some assurance. I need some tactical, practical support, not just motivational support. I need some time to sit and digest this, whatever the change is. I need to allow myself to grieve and then move on. What are your personal needs? If you don't know what they are, then every day you're going to wake up in more and more disequilibrium, and you're going to say, I don't know what to do. There's going to be a blank space in your mind because you haven't zeroed in on your needs. Number 3, develop personal coping menus. A lot of times when chaos and change is afoot, massive chaos is the change and change are afoot that ripple across societies, that affect businesses or government agencies, that then affect workers, that then affect finances. So when all of this is afoot, our stress level, anxiety level, and panic level can rise. We can feel our chest compress, our breath getting short. We can be more reactive to some people, like our tempers can get short. Or we go into this, I just got to buckle down and focus on this. We have to address our coping menus because during those times we tend to go back to one or two coping mechanisms. And for some of you, it might be your own personal space, like just close the door and say, leave me alone for a little while. For other people, it might be exercise, going out for walks, going to the gym. For some people, it may be having time with just family or friends and laughing and not thinking about work. The reason why you need a coping menu and not a coping mechanism, meaning one or two things that you've always relied on, is because during massive upheavals in your life or in your career or at work or in society, our go-to mechanisms will not last because there's too much stress, too much change, too much pressure coming in from different angles. And one or two typical coping mechanisms like deep breathing exercises or time with family or going for a walk will satisfy you in a moment, but the stress is building up too much and you need an entire menu that you can choose from in different moments. So, what are 4 or 5 or 6 different things that you can engage in to cope with stress, with pressure in the moment, with panic or with anxiety or just with your emotions? Do you need to vent at times? Do you need to go back to things you haven't done in a long time, like journaling? What do you need to do that is healthy for you and helpful, not just to escape reality? So some people going to have a drink after work or a cocktail, that is fine. But getting a 12-pack or a 24-pack and drinking yourself under the table is not a rejuvenating thing or a relaxing thing or an anxiety relief thing. That's anesthesia. And we wake up and we still have all the same stress and anxiety. So, what are the coping mechanisms that fall under a whole menu for you that's helpful and healthy? Number 4, engage in personal transition planning. So, during times of great change or chaos or upheaval, those times last for phases. They're not instantaneous. They go on for weeks or months or maybe up to a year. And that's a transition period we have to go through. So make a personal transition plan to stabilize you and to give you empowerment during a whole phase. Like, here's what new skills I'm going to learn during this phase. I've been putting the skill building off or this education off for a long time. I can't do that anymore. During this phase, I need to build some skills so I can prepare for the next possibilities. What else will you do during a transition phase? Will you divvy up errands and chores at home so that you can focus on something else? Maybe you've not done that. You've shouldered all the burdens in the past. But now you have to say, no, during this next phase, I can't do that. I will break under that pressure. I need the whole family or my lover or my partner to divvy up the responsibilities in a different way. Or we need to do research on what are the possibilities for 6 months down the road. So develop a transition plan. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged plan on paper, but it should be broken into what are you going to do, the 2 or 3 things that you need to do to become resilient for the next 6 months or a year. And what are some of the action steps and the tactical, practical support that you're going to need? I hear people all the time saying, I know you can do this. Oh, I believe in you. That's affirmative support and motivational support. That is wonderful for all of us. But that wonderment of motivation and affirmation doesn't get us through the transition all the time. We need tactical, practical support. And identify that and let people know what you need. And then the 5th one, when you're at work, is every team and unit needs to develop a transitionary team and group support plan. They may not be able to have influence over or say no to new priorities or new changes. So they have to ask themselves, what can we have power over? What can we support? And teams can develop individual or peer related or team and unit support plans that are very specific. So every team support plan for a transition period or when great change is underway should include how tactically and practically support each other's workloads because they're going to shift. Positions and descriptions will shift. Critical elements and expectations will shift. Sometimes agencies go out of business, but that work still has to be done by someone else. So you have to say, how are we going to practically support each other's workloads, workflow during this time? How will we practically and tactically support each other's problem solving? Because some people will be focused on problem solving for their own job or a whole team or customers or just their own lives. And team members need to support that. How are we going to support each other's problem solving and individual planning? Should we do that at meetings? Can we pair with each other and have a buddy system? Can we just put one problem on the table at each meeting and just solve that? So what's the practical support for problem solving, for workloads, for workflow, for stress management, for de-escalation of tension, maybe for role support? If jobs are on the line and there's an assessment of the value of each position or jobs, start interweaving the jobs so you automatically need each other or share resources or give credibility to each other's position and build the reputation of people so that they have a greater chance of securing their future. So the team has to come up with practical group support. So in this training that we offer, this is just one part of a larger training on stress management, larger training on resiliency at work for individuals, for teams, and entire businesses. You focus on personal agency. And remember, those are your personal choices, the personal power you have, even if it seems limited. What is it? Grab hold of it and make some new choices. Make some decisions because you will feel a sense of empowerment then, and that will give you more ability to reduce anxiety in your mind. Also ask, what do you need to accept? Sometimes we're hit with choices and chaos and we're saying, I don't like this, I don't want to accept this. We cannot like something and still have to accept it and acknowledge it because it gives us a new starting point. But once you accept it, you can say, now what are my choices? Remember to develop a coping menu, not just mechanisms. Under extraordinary circumstances, we need lots of things that we can help us shift our perceptions and our perspectives and our emotions and our body. Make sure that the team is dealing with their own team plans. I hope these tips help you, my friends, as you become more resilient with all the changes that are afoot. If you want more information on any of our stress management programs, our progressive relaxation and mindfulness programs, our burnout prevention programs, or even resiliency programs, please contact us at www.powerskillsinternational.com or send us an email at info@powerskillsinternational.com and request one of the catalogs on coaching, PowerSkills micro training classes that are 60 to 90 minutes in length, or PowerSkills Everywhere courses that are 1 to 5 days in length, online or on site, or even a PowerSkills Revive retreat, which are retreats for organizations, for management groups, or for teams to help them engage in planning and a reset. So let us know what you need. All of this is copyrighted by myself, Robert James Schout, PowerSkills Training and Development, and Shout It Out, LLC. We hope this is a benefit to you. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.